Welcome. My name is Amy Osborne, and I'm the Program Associate for Graduate Yoga Studies at Loyola Marymount University here in Los Angeles. I'm also an owner at Northport Yoga and Wellness in Northport, which is in Southwest Florida. I wanted to share with you today some of what I teach all the time. It's called Trauma-Informed Mindfulness. Trauma, not drama. And what it focuses on are ideas like the physiology of trauma or stress, what's happening in the body, the window of tolerance, which is kind of our threshold of how much we can handle, tools, coping mechanisms for stress to re-regulate the body, neuroplasticity in terms of observational awareness and our ability to notice and perhaps even change our own thoughts. These are the types of ideas that we'll be talking about and practicing together over this next 5 video series in what I'm calling an off the mat series. So I wanted to share to start a definition of yoga that really kind of sets the tone for where I'm coming from in this conversation. So it comes out of, I geek out a little bit, so prepare yourselves, the Preksha Meditation and Human Health textbook, which we received at an ashram in Ladnoon, India. I joke, but it's actually very impressive. It was a majority female-run ashram, from what I could tell, and most of the nuns were PhDs in neuroscience. So they developed, or did not develop, but are sharing this practice of Preksha meditation. So I get this definition of yoga from them. It says, equanimity is yoga. Serenity is yoga. Skill in action is yoga. Control of the senses and the mind is yoga. Anything by which the highest in life can be attained by virtue is also yoga. Yoga is thus all-embracing, all-inclusive, and universal in its application, leading to all-around development of body, mind, and soul. So, yoga is off the mat. Yoga is skill in action. So today we're going to learn about the physiology of stress and how yoga, encompassing meditation and mindfulness practices, can present an opportunity to regulate the nervous system and thereby alleviate stress, right? So, I'm going to attempt to draw you some pictures. The physiology of stress, meaning what's happening in the body when we're stressed out. All right. So this you could think of as our happy place, this line. Equilibrium, maybe. Our natural rhythm has ups and downs. We fluctuate throughout the day. You know the feelings. However it shows up for you, PO'd, agitated, hungry, hangry, or happy, excited, grateful, you know, it goes the gamut. Anxious, upset, fearful. So there's a natural rhythm. I need my next marker, here we go. So when a traumatic event happens, traumatic event. When a traumatic event happens, or our body does not really know the difference between almost getting in a car accident, driving down the street, and a tiger chasing you, or a real life threat. So your body processes stress all the same, just kind of different levels of severity of these ups and downs. But, you know, a near car accident is going to affect you the same way as a cheetah behind you would, right? Your whole body thinking about the reactions. What does your body do? Bring it to mind. I don't want to give you the answer, think of it. So when something happens like an almost car accident, your body tenses up, your heart rate increases. Are you thinking about how you want to go to McDonald's for, like, I don't know, burger or whatever, and you have to pee, or, you know, these concerns? No, right? You're completely restricted in this moment, fight or flight response. You know, all the other body systems are contracted so that your energy can go to fight or flight. And that's your body's natural reaction to stress. So we might be noticing tightness in our bodies, at any time due to stress. So this can be stress and or trauma. So again, different severities, you could say. So when this happens, our nervous system is like, oh my gosh, we gotta do better, help. So your nervous system attempts to regulate itself, but first has to react. Oh my gosh, something's happening, fight or flight. Eventually your body can't maintain it anymore, so what happens? Adrenal fatigue. Down here we see hypovigilance, depression type symptoms, insomnia, chronic pain, digestive issues, and up here we see hypervigilance. This is anxiety, again, insomnia, chronic pain, maybe trouble eating, either too much, too little, digestive issues, etc. Because your body's trying to maintain kind of at what I call peaks and valleys, where it would normally want to be somewhere in the middle. So this is helpful because we can cut ourselves some slack when traumatic things happen or stressful things happen, that our body is doing its thing, attempting to help us feel better by regulating. However, it might need some help because it doesn't seem from here that we're going to get back to the middle anytime soon, equilibrium. So there are many methods of coping, and we'll discuss in the last video some methods and techniques beyond those in the next few videos that I find as tools in my toolbox for helping to regulate, to stay in a happy place. But it is normal to have these ups and downs and thinking about, okay, knowing that this is going to happen, I get to choose my actions. I get to decide, what are my tools that I'm going to use when I feel this way? How am I going to help myself get back to this middle ground? So that's where this conversation stems from, and you can sound very fancy to your friends. You just learned about the physiology of stress, the way stress is stored and processed in the body, specifically the nervous system. So when we talk about fight or flight, we're talking about the sympathetic nervous system. When we talk about rest and digest, we're talking about the parasympathetic nervous system, both of the autonomic nervous system. So with that, we're going to do a little practice. And again, we'll be learning more tools to help bring the body into regulation. Today is the first of the tools. So finding a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you, could be crossed at the ankles or even legs extended. I even have a chair here. It's more than fine to sit on the edge of a chair. Just make sure your knees and your hips are in a line, your feet are firmly planted on the floor, so no crossed legs or anything like that. I do have pillows and blocks, and I also made a point of bringing out a rolled up beach towel. This is more than enough. You don't need to buy something to lift up your sacrum, your root a little bit. This might help alleviate some of the strains of the low back that causes people to be uncomfortable when seated in meditation. We're going to be practicing meditation and mindfulness techniques. If when you learn from Dr. Lori Fazio in her video series or elsewhere, the goal of yoga is, or asana, is meditation. There is something called the 8 limbs of yoga, and the last is a state of meditation or even bliss, samadhi. We also see asana in that list of 8 limbs, which is yoga movement, as well as pranayama, is breath work, and on. So certainly yamas and niyamas as well, that are your ethics, your off the mat yoga, your value system, which mirrors many typical value systems. So with that said, let's put it all aside. Maybe that was some new information. I like to use the analogy of spaghetti against the wall. Some of it sticks, some of it doesn't. So take what serves you, put the rest away, and find yourself in a comfortable seat. I'm using my beach towel to sit under. If you have a cushion, a pillow, prop yourself up. I have a blanket underneath me to support my ankles. You can use whatever's laying around the house. Nothing fancy. And once you find your comfortable seat, whether it's in a chair, legs extended or crossed, you can rest the hands on the knees or in the lap. And find yourself in a nice, straight, tall spine. Checking in with the chin, that it's about level with the floor, and the shoulders melt down the back. You can shake them out a little bit. So finding your comfortable seat, we are now going to start a practice following our understanding of the physiology of stress within trauma-informed mindfulness. We can now start to think about tools that help us to re-regulate the body. So please join me in a practice of 3-part breath. And you have the option, you don't have to. You can place, I would put the left hand on the heart and the right hand on the belly. Finding our nice straight tall spine and noticing with the legs crossed, extended, or in a chair, where do the feet meet the earth? Where does the body touch? Where is the body supported? Nice straight tall spine. Dropping the gaze or maybe closing the eyes. And first just take a big breath in and let it go through the mouth. We'll do one more. Breathing in and let it go. Find a nice, easy, natural pace of breath, in and out through the nose. Just noticing the quality of the breath, if it's short, or maybe the breath has begun to lengthen. Where in the body can you feel the breath? Noticing if the hand resting on the chest expands, or perhaps the belly area. No goal in mind, just noticing the breath. On your next inhale, breathing into a count of 3, and notice where the body expands with breath. The lungs expanding 3-dimensionally, holding at the top. On an exhale to a count of 3. 1, 2, 3, just observing the flow of breath. So we'll do that twice more, your own pace. Breathing in a count of 3. 3, and exhale. 3, 2, 1. One more time. Breathing in 1, 2, 3. Full lungs. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. We're going to do 4 more at your own pace. Noticing and perhaps attempting to expand through the belly as the diaphragm lifts when the lungs expand. Diaphragmatic breathing can be difficult when we've been stressed out, so just bring your attention there and notice if there's any restriction in the abdominal area. It's all good. Taking big, deep breaths. Full lungs. Exhale, let it go at your own pace. Once you've completed, resting the hands back on the knees or finding an easy pace of breath. Returning to neutral, an easy pace of breath. And if you'd like to set either an intention or a gratitude, so maybe something you'd like to be cultivating more of in your life right now, can be joy, love, connection, and or gratitude. It's our health, our well-being, that of our loved ones. Inhaling the arms all the way up. Exhale them down to the heart. And acknowledging that sentiment that is namaste. That the light in me sees the light in you. Also meaning we're all the same and we are all certainly in this together. So namaste. Thank you for joining in practice. And I welcome you to join me for the next, which will be on the window of tolerance, using this same graph and just going one step further. So, cliffhanger. I will see you next time. This is Amy Osborne. Thank you so much.